Early week edition of College Sports Now. It's 11:11. Make a wish, everybody. Roddy Jones.
That's a time thing. It's not a day thing. You don't get a whole day to make a wish.
I think you do, actually. Roddy Jones, ESPN, ABC, ACC Network, SiriusXM. Also, College Sports Now, rocking with us for the next hour and change. Tripp Hurd, the lock doctor. The lock has been fully unhitched, by the way. Oh, boy, went 0-3 in the pick segment last week. He's also not here today. He may or may not be joining us middle of the show. I don't want to push. My guy's got a lot on his plate. He's a husband. He's a parent. Obviously, he's a doctor. So he's got a lot on his plate, Roddy. He's juggling quite a bit. So Tripp may or may not be with us. I told him it's all good. It is Veterans Day, so like my kids are home from school. Your kids are home from school, but not because of the holiday. Apparently there's a bug going around in the Jones house.
Yep. 3 of the 5 members of the Jones family have thrown up. They're all under the age of 10. Thrown up in the last, let's say, 72 hours.
Okay.
The older 2, like last night into this morning. The youngest, I think her last puke was like Saturday. So
okay, so she's on the come up, but you've got great. 2 others that might be.
Today, to be honest with you, she's over there playing with the Rapunzel Tower like it's her job. She's feeling great. The other 2, obviously the projectile vomit is legit, but like. Yeah. I think they're sandbagging me a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you.
Wow. So it's funny you mentioned that because in my house, my wife, a little bit more lenient when it comes to like, oh, you poor thing, you should stay home today. They'll like, if she does the drop off, they'll be like, they'll crank it up. They'll be like, Mom, my stomach. I'm like, get out the car.
Yeah. Yep.
Get out of the car. I will see you this afternoon. Don't play me, boy.
Nope.
Nice try.
Right.
You can't BS a BSer. I see it. I know all your moves. Also, if you're sick, and I don't know how this goes for you. By the way, there will be plenty of football talk. If you're sick, you have 2 options when you're at home. 1 is to go back to bed. 2 is to play quietly and be able to entertain oneself. Because I can't. I can't. It ain't Saturday. It ain't Sunday. It's Tuesday. So do you. Read a book. Play with the Rapunzel Tower. I got an army base over my left shoulder there. I don't know if you can see all that.
I see it. No, it is sprawled across the couch behind you. Is that a speaker? What is that on the ground? Giant speaker thing?
That's a box. That's a box for a monitor that has turned into a the military base building is like a thing. They're spread out all throughout the house. It's we're in it. So anyway, we're dealing with real life stuff. Roddy and I are parents. We have kids, and I don't know about you, bro, but it was 26 degrees this morning. Freezing.
Here too.
So we're in it. We're in it. Winter hath come. You were in Charlottesville over the weekend. Plenty of college football talk to have. Rodstradamus had a winning weekend.
Barely.
Love to see it.
What happened? We'll get to it.
We'll get to it. We got some Week 11 takeaways. I also want to get Roddy's CFP predictions that are sure to be wrong. And as the world turns in the ACC, quick programming note as we enter Week 3 of a carriage dispute amongst Disney and YouTube TV. There is an app. It's called the Varsity Network app. It is free. It's available for Apple and Android devices. It's got CarPlay compatibility, which is a big deal. All right, everybody needs the CarPlay these days. You can enjoy live college football, games, coaches shows, also basketball if you're into that sort of thing. Search for your favorite school. You can access specific content. It is also, and this is very important, the exclusive home of the College Football Blitz, which is free Red Zone channel for college football. There's other places you can get it, but it ain't free. Just putting that out there. All right? So, Varsity app, because bro, I watched UVA Wake Forest over the weekend. You were on the call. You did a great job. But the things I had to do to get that, I can't tell you because the statute of limitations hasn't run out yet. Like, I'll tell you in about 6 years. But, I mean, I had to get down dirty to watch UVA lose at home to Wake Forest. Let's start there.
You didn't like a game with no offensive touchdowns?
How was Charlottesville?
Great. Charlottesville's always great, man. Have you been to Charlottesville?
Man, listen, man. You know I went to JMU. It's
kind of
90 minutes up the road.
Charlottesville. Oh, is it?
I have been to Charlottesville. I have not been to a football game there. I've been to a basketball game. I've been to multiple concerts.
Oh, of course.
And I might also have gone down there to holler at some biddies back in the day. It may or may not have happened.
That's the wrong. I don't know. I feel like there's other places. There's slim pickings if you're going to Virginia to holler at.
Nah, there's some cuties in Charlottesville.
Yeah,
There were some cuties in Harrisonburg too, but sometimes you got to go outside the area code. Actually, it's the same area code, but sometimes you got to go outside the zip code. You know what I'm saying? Either way, I have been to Charlottesville.
On the tour, it's not.
It's gorgeous, as we have learned. It's not in the mountains, but it's surrounded by mountains.
Yep.
Yeah, like you got the Shenandoah Valley. You've got fall colors that are popping off everywhere. Yep. So yeah, man, that's not a bad place to be early November at all.
And architecturally, like, grounds there is some of the most beautiful architecture you're going to see on a college campus. It really is.
Agreed.
Like,
yes.
Say what you want about Thomas Jefferson and the slave labor that he used, but they made a beautiful campus.
Did that make the broadcast at all, Roddy? Was that brought up at all? No.
I say that like somewhat tongue in cheek, not super, because Virginia actually does a really good job of acknowledging the past. Yes. And acknowledging now. It wasn't always this case. But acknowledging the fact that a lot of Virginia, really most of Virginia, was built by enslaved laborers, and and the role that they played after that, after the building of it, up through the 1860s, and even after when the slaves that worked there were emancipated, they just turned them into like low-paid workers, which
sharecroppers.
But like, were you paid that? Well, like, was your life that much different? No. But I would encourage anyone who goes to Virginia, first off, just walk around, like, see the rotunda, walk the lawn, but a little bit down the way from the lawn, you will see a memorial where it's the memorial to the enslaved laborers, and it takes you on a timeline of, like, when the first slaves were brought to the University of Virginia, how the labor was used, where they brought it from. And like individual stories of the guy who used to ring the bell for classes to be dismissed or for to wake up, like that guy has a plaque and he was a slave there. So I kind of did a little tour of that, which was really cool. Like, it is
a very pretty campus. Like, no joke.
It's a beautiful,
it's pretty stunning. Actually.
Grounds, please, not campus. But like the history, I don't know if you remember, I don't know, it's however many years ago, but they tried to incorporate the serpentine walls into the logo, and then it was like brought to the people's attention that like the serpentine walls were built so that the slaves would be behind the walls, and it was built high enough so that you wouldn't see the slaves. And like that was sort of one of the first reckonings I remember Virginia doing of having with this. So I thought like that was, I've been to grounds a number of times and done the tour or like walked around. But this is my first time really digging into that side of it and going and trying to make a point to go see some of these, monuments or like plaques and places that they point out on campus where, like, there was enslaved labor that either lived there or helped there. It was like, stuff like that. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I walked around a lot, and we stayed close enough to walk to the stadium, which is awesome. Like that cannot be beat. Let me tell you, if you're ever covering a game and you can stay close enough to walk, whew, game changer. Awesome. Unless it's raining or it's cold.
It's a college town. Like, it is a true college town. And you were there and you witnessed UVA play their way out, I would argue, of serious consideration for a CFP spot. I know there's time. They got a big game at Duke. But, man, like, that was a tough watch. I mean, that offense really for Virginia the last couple of weeks has been sputtering. Certainly doesn't help. When your quarterback gets knocked out, Chandler Morris, first quarter? Gets
second quarter,
shot to the head?
Middle of second quarter.
Yeah, and I mean, that's not great. In comes the backup. But Wake Forest is tough as hell, man. I know they may not be the sexiest team in the world, at least nationally. Like, folks don't want to really spend a lot of time and attention. And, Roddy, I joke with you about only talking about the same 12 teams every week on SiriusXM. But, bro, shout out to Wake. Bowl eligible under first-year head coach Jake Dickert. That is a tremendous accomplishment. And I don't know if you know this, Roddy Jones. UNC comes to little old Winston-Salem Saturday. You know how many tickets are left for that game?
0.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Like, that's
a lot of UNC people going to be in the building.
Yeah, sure. There'll be a lot of Walmart knuckle-dragging UNC fans who have never darkened the door of a classroom in Chapel Hill. But yes.
So, very prestigious institution of higher learning. It's hard to get into.
They'll trickle down out the...
A lot of App State grads that are UNC fans.
There it is. App State 4 and 6. They're going to be coming down out the mountains with their UNC basketball stuff on, wearing their Jerry Stackhouse jerseys. Rooting for them heels.
Yeah.
So yes, that's a thing that happens. It's actually pretty fun. I enjoy it quite a bit since living here in North Carolina. But
yeah,
the story here, I think, is Wake, but there's obviously ACC championship game implications on the line as well.
yes. So congrats to Jake Dickert and Wake, man. To get bowl eligible in your first year is an accomplishment. To do it with the quarterback play that they've had, which I would argue over the balance of the season is probably 17 out of 17 in the league. Like, Syracuse has certainly gone down the tank.
Yes.
But they had a moment with Steve Angeli. Say what you want about Boston College and the quarterback play there. Dylan Lonergan was leading the nation in passing through like 3 weeks. Like, the dude was on fire to start the season. Over the balance of the season, I would say Wake has had the worst quarterback play in the conference. And yet, here they sit. 6-3, bowl eligible, because that defense is salty, man. That defense is good. And they don't have a star. Like, Nick Anderson's probably the biggest name. Devon Patterson's the best player. Langston Hardy is a good player. But, like, ain't a star in that defense. There will not be a first-team All-ACC guy on that defense.
Right.
Although Devon Patterson, I could argue, he plays the wrong position because Keontae Scott plays the same position. But, it's a team that plays together. The kicker hit 2 50-yard field goals, 50 and a 49-yarder technically.
Onions. And this is the same guy who beat SMU by the skin of his teeth, bro. Yes.
Dude, so Jake Dickert in our meetings goes, we always ask, like, hey, like, what's the longest field goal you'd attempt if you had to? Like, what's his range? He goes, Connor Calvert's the kid's name. He goes, well, SMU would suggest it's 50 yards plus like half a yard, but we would let him kick to 57. And so during the broadcast, Mark goes, well, coach says he let him kick up to 57, but this is a 50-yarder. That thing cleared by a yard. I go, dude, this dude's range in a centimeter over 51.
Yeah.
Not a centimeter. Because that thing barely cleared.
And if the rotation was a little different, I mean, that thing would bounce off the crossbar and come back the other way. Yeah,
exactly. But he hit a 49-yarder, which he actually cleared by a little bit more. And then he hit a 39-yarder. And then they had a punt return for a touchdown. Carlos Hernandez. So it's a team that is kind of doing it with smoke, mirrors, duct tape, and sheer will and gumption and playing hard. But they believe and they do play hard and they play complimentary ball. And when you got a defense that's that good, it keeps them in games. And in most games, they've made one more play than the other team. So there you go.
So walk me through what this means. We did this last week, but I'm looking at 5 teams with 1 loss atop the ACC conference. Virginia now one of those 5. So, I mean, what does this look like? Because there is talk, there is chatter, Roddy, and I don't know how much credence you give to this or not, but I've heard people already banging the drum about the ACC champion, the team that wins in Charlotte, potentially being left out of the CFP. Do you buy that?
There is a scenario where that could happen. And it's a long way to go, but the doomsday scenario for the ACC is Duke, who is now 5-4 overall, 4-1 in the ACC.
Amazing.
Let's say they win the ACC, which Duke controls its own destiny. So if Duke wins out, they're in by virtue of in one tiebreak. I'll break this down. I'll go into more detail. The ACC has 5 one-loss teams. They are Georgia Tech, Pitt, UVA, Duke, and SMU. Georgia Tech and Pitt play each other. Duke and UVA play each other. So the maximum number of one-loss teams the ACC can have at the end of the season is 3. And so there's 4 different permutations of what that 3-team tiebreaker could look like. SMU is involved in all 4 of them because SMU doesn't play any of the other teams. So they're independent. Like it doesn't matter on any of the games with these other teams. They got to get there, but they would be in all of these scenarios potentially. Could be in all these scenarios. In both scenarios that Duke is involved in, one would be a tie with Georgia Tech, Duke, and SMU. And the tiebreaker that you would get to is record versus common opponent. Well, Wake Forest is a common opponent of Georgia Tech, Duke, and SMU. SMU lost to Wake. Georgia Tech and Duke in this scenario would have beaten Wake. Georgia Tech and Duke go through. Ooh. The other tiebreaker, or the other tie that Duke is involved in, is a tie between Pitt, Duke, and SMU. And in that case, Syracuse is the only common opponent. So we would go to conference opponents win percentage in conference. So conference games only, but your conference opponents' win percentage. And Duke's conference opponents' win percentage right now is about 50%, which is enough higher than SMU and Pitt that they have basically clinched that already. Like Pitt and SMU's opponents cannot win enough the last few weeks of the season to reach Duke's if Duke's lose all their games, basically. And so Duke has clinched that according to our stats and info at ESPN. So Duke wins out. Duke is in the conference championship game. Georgia Tech wins out. Georgia Tech is in the conference championship game by virtue of that win over Wake, because that's the only tiebreaker that you get to where Georgia Tech could separate itself with its win over Wake. So those are the two teams that control their own destiny. If Duke makes it to the conference championship game, they are good enough to win it. In the 4 losses Duke has, they have been neutral, 0, or negative in the turnover margin.
Yeah.
In all their wins, they're positive in the turnover margin. Simple as that. Defense isn't good enough to have extra possessions. Offense is good enough where if you give them extra possessions, they win the game. That's it. Like that is it with Duke. They don't turn the ball over and they create one turnover, they win the game. So Duke gets to the ACC championship game. Doesn't matter who they play. Let's say they win it. Then you have an 8-4 Duke team that's an ACC champion with non-conference losses to UConn and Tulane. Tulane could be in that consideration set, or could have a team in that consideration for the highest, because it's the highest ranked 5 conference champions, 5 highest ranked conference champions. It's not the Power 4 plus group of 5.
Right.
And so there's a possibility that the ACC champion in Duke could be ranked outside of the top 25. And when they stack the champions, Duke could end up behind, let's say, the American Conference champion and JMU. It's unlikely, because strength of schedule wise, JMU strength of schedule is trash, but it could happen.
Did you get all that, everybody? I mean, the ACC it's wild. It's and by the way, Duke, Roddy's talking about Duke, and shout out to Duke. He's right. 5-4 overall, 4-1 in the ACC. They've been handling their business in conference play. What happened to Duke over the weekend? They lost at UConn as a double-digit favorite. I mean, it's
the scenario that no one's talking about, though, in the ACC is let's say Georgia Tech wins out, beats Georgia, gets to the conference.
What do you mean? Let's say it's gonna happen, big dog. Okay. But keep going.
But gets to the conference championship game. So Georgia Tech was at 17. They've got a game against Boston College. They've got a game against Pitt, and they've got a game against
College
Georgia.
Just quit, by the way. I'm putting BC on quit watch. I mean, it's not watch. What's
quit.
worse, watch or warning? Is it a warning if it's going to happen?
Warning is worse, I think.
Okay. BC, quit warning.
Tornado
it's happening.
Watch versus warning. Tornado watch means the conditions are favorable. Warning means it's been cited. Yeah. Boston College is not quit. Don't put that out there. That's not.
What about Florida? They've quit.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. At least they benched DJ Lagway after 3 interceptions this time, so he couldn't get to 5.
Way to stop the damage at 3. Really, really nice coaching, guys.
I said that at the time. First 4 interceptions are on you. The 5th one is on me because you shouldn't have been in there.
Yeah,
shouldn't have been
Makes
in
sense.
there. I don't care
what
the scores. But anyway, like Georgia Tech wins out. They probably inch up. They're 7. They were at 17. They'll be a little bit higher today. Let's say they're at 15. Let's say by the time they play Georgia, they're at 12. You beat Georgia, you jump into the top 9. I think that's feasible. And then Georgia Tech loses in the conference championship game to Duke. Then like the conference champ could get left out and Georgia Tech could get a net large bid. So, there's a lot of scenarios. There's a lot of ball left to be played. Pitt plays Miami, Georgia Tech, and Notre Dame down the stretch. You got Notre Dame this weekend. That's a team that can mess some stuff up. So there's a lot of ball left, and people are painting the doomsday scenario for the ACC. I just gave it to you. Like that is the doomsday scenario. All the other scenarios are very favorable for the league. And so while the league has taken a lot of slings and arrows today, I think it's a bit unfair because while it's a mess, it's not as much of a mess as people say. Like the conference champ is probably going to make the CFP, and there are possibilities for at-larges to happen. The thing is, you have to have teams win.
By the way, Pitt, obviously you mentioned hosting Notre Dame, big time spot for the Panthers, catching double digits in that game. We may or may not hear from Roger a little bit later on that one, but you want to go back and look at that loss to the backyard brawl, which you were at. I mean, They got to be kicking themselves for that one, and the Louisville game where they led 17-0.
They're up 17-0. Yes,
like Pitt could be
double digit leads in both of their glosses.
Yes. I mean, the backyard brawl was especially, that was just
10-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Like what your girls are going through, just projectile vomiting. Just,
all over themselves.
all over the place, uncontrollable. Like, what are you doing? So, kind of one of those what could be type deals for a Pitt team that's sitting there at 7-2 today. Obviously, an underdog against Notre Dame. Let me ask you. You mentioned the CFP. You mentioned the at-large scenarios. You mentioned the Group of Five situation. We got the rankings coming out tonight, second iteration. 7 o'clock, by the way, is when those drop. I will be getting those in real time via carrier pigeon because I don't have ESPN still as we enter week 3 of a carriage dispute.
Bro, just pause your YouTube TV and subscribe to something else.
Man, here, as a consumer, I don't want to have to do that dance, man.
Yeah, I don't.
They need to figure this out. You know.
So.
And also, like, my son watches replays of games on.
Well, they're all gone.
Like on the library, and so like he wanted to watch Oregon, Iowa, and I'm like, if I pause this, all this stuff goes away, and now I've got to, it's just I can't, man. I don't want to go there yet.
Yeah. So, I had someone around. This is just crew talk on the streets, where someone at Virginia who's on our crew was like, yeah, I asked someone at ESPN which one was going to end earlier, the carriage dispute or the government shutdown. Looks like the shutdown's winding down. And his response was, I was told by this person at ESPN that the government shutdown would end earlier than this carriage dispute with YouTube TV and ESPN. So what I would tell people who have YouTube TV who cannot watch ESPN is just like you're probably in this thing for the long haul at this point. That's not insider information. I got this from a guy who got it from a guy who got it from a guy or girl. I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be a minute.
You're not making me feel any better. Here's my question for you. And by the way, Tripp Hurd, the lock doctor, has entered the chat. Tripp, good morning. Great to be great. Thank you for joining us. Everything go okay this morning? I pumped you up. I said you were out there rad dadding it. You good?
I'm trying the best I can. Everything went good.
Welcome, Tripp. Welcome.
Yeah, it's not the same without you. Honestly, Roddy was like, "Where's Tripp?
Oh, thanks, man.
Don't know if I need to be here if Tripp's not here. That type of stuff." So
I appreciate that.
We'll get into the Week 11 takeaways with Tripp now that he is here to run point on that. But before we do, like, my question for you, Roddy, with the CFP stuff is like, what do you think we're going to see tonight? And do you think, wow, we have a Baby Jones on the mic? Say hi. Hello.
Hi.
How are you feeling? How's your tummy? How do you feel? She can't hear. Is your tummy feel better?
No.
No?
Your tummy doesn't feel better?
No.
Seems like you feel okay.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like the best you've ever felt, 1 being like the yuckiest you've ever felt, how do you feel? What number would you give yourself?
6, 7.
Oh my God. Thank you for your contributions. You're free to go now. Thank you. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. Get out of here.
It says it like this. 6, 7.
All right, bye, Ripley.
Bye.
Well, I was doing it wrong. Is that what she was implying? Like it's.
Yes,
I thought
she was.
I thought this is 6, 7.
I don't want to.
She showed you how to do it.
Kind of info here.
You're not. It can't be explained. It's not explainable.
Okay.
It
She
can't
got a
be.
stomach bug?
Yes, Roddy's got all 3 girls at home.
All 3 girls are here.
I got 2 boys at home,
2 of
but
them
not
abandoned
because
me.
they're sick, because it's Veterans Day and it's a school holiday.
Oh,
not an office holiday, by the way. We'll settle that offline. That's a
awful,
different
Roddy.
conversation. But anyway, Roddy, here's my question for you. CFP tonight, before we get to Week 11 takeaways, what do you think we're going to see? Over, under 1.5 Group of 5 teams in the top 25 tonight. What do you think?
Over? No. Sorry, 1.5. Under 1.5. You'll have.
You think we'll get 1?
I'm not sure how much movement we're gonna have, dude. Because
Tennessee needs to get the hell out of there.
Tennessee was off last week, weren't they?
They were 25th in the polls, though. Like, put
Why
in
would
Memphis.
they drop?
Put in US because you have
Bro,
no group of 5 representatives in the CFP top 25.
It's not their job. It's not their job to give participation trophies just because the group of 5 it plays football, kind of.
We've got some good one-loss teams sitting out there. It would be nice to know where we stand since one of the group of 5 teams is going to the field of 12. It'd be nice to know where we're at.
You do. Memphis was the highest ranked. You only get one of them.
Tennessee's
you just need to know who the one is. So JMU was after Memphis. That's all you need to know. We don't need to know anything about the group of 5. I'm starting to get like Danny Cannell, where it's like, why are we even doing the group of 5 thing? Why are we including them in the playoff? I don't really understand either.
Because the most powerful people in the sport have gotten together as a group and decided that that's healthy for college football, Roddy. Now you want to take that away too?
Yes.
Just so we can get another SEC or Big Ten team in? Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
I do. Like you're talking about you're putting in the 27th ranked team in the country. And we're all okay with this, or maybe they're 27th. They could be 35th. We don't actually know where Memphis ranked. Like, just because what? Why? I honestly don't understand why we include it. Why would we not put them in? Put them in on merit. Now you could argue that, hey, look, the ACC champion should get put it on merit too. Fair. If you want to come back to me with that argument, fair. Okay, it's fine. But I don't know. I feel like the group of 5 is such a step below the other teams that are going to be in the college football playoff that I don't know. Like, I don't know why we're doing it like that. But anyway, I think you'll probably get one. Here's the thing though, dude. Like, Iowa was at 20 last week and they lose by 2 points to Oregon on a game-winning field goal. They're going to drop out of the top 25? I don't think so. I think Missouri probably does. Washington almost certainly does. The only other teams that would drop out would possibly be Virginia and Louisville, but I think they're going to still be in the back of the top 25, which leaves 2 spots for teams. So who jumps into those spots? I think, and this is just me guessing, I would imagine that Cincinnati would be in the running for that, because you look at Cincinnati, and from a strength of record standpoint, they sit at 20, and they're not ranked in the top 25. Strength of schedule of 53 compared to like JMU. Strength of schedule 115. North Texas, strength of schedule 126. Tulane, strength of schedule. Well, they just lost, so they're out. Houston is also in there, like also in the running. Strength of record in the 20s. 8-2. So I think those teams probably pop in, and then maybe you get a Memphis, but Memphis' strength of schedule is 117. Their strength of record's 41st. That means they think 40 teams in the country would have a similar record against what Memphis has played, as opposed to like what you would expect. So I don't know, man. Like I think I'll take the over of 1, but I would not be surprised if like 25 is Cincinnati and 26 is, I don't know, let's say Illinois at 8, who's got a strength of record of 18 and a strength of schedule of 9.
Any shake up in the top 5?
No,
tonight?
I don't think that changes. I don't think any of that changes. I don't know why it would. Maybe you get Indiana and Texas A&M flip-flopping, but that would be it.
We'll get to Indiana a little bit here in the takeaways. Tripp, do you want to jump into some Week 11 takeaways, buddy? Did you do your homework? You ready to go?
I did my homework. We're obviously going to save the worst for last this week.
Oh yeah, I got to get that imaging ready. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, okay.
Is that the worst?
That's going to be my worst.
It's your worst. At some point, you got to quit that drug, man.
No,
it's a 4-4 team playing a 3-5 team. Like,
I'm not going to quit that drug, and I'm also I think you're going to change your mind.
Irrelevant.
What's that? The absolute Florida State irrelevant. They don't go together.
Irrelevant. The game was on ACC Network. Clemson, Florida State was on ACC Network.
ACC Network's a great programming. I mean, there's nothing.
They do not measure ratings on that network.
I love ACC Network. You don't like ACC Network?
Primetime ESPN was I appear on ACC Network like 5 times a week, and yet Clemson, Florida State should never be on ACC Network ever in life. You should spray paint that on ESPN Primetime every single year on the side of an airplane and fly it overhead. And yet those teams were 3-5, now 4-5, and 4-4, now 4-5.
Agreed.
Terrible.
Going to get into why.
Okay, sorry.
Going to get into why.
Can't wait to hear that.
Best thing I saw.
I
I mean,
can't
have
wait.
you guys talked about the Indiana play? I mean,
We have
just
not
the
talked about.
catch
We have not. We
itself.
have not talked about any Indiana.
It was so it's bigger than just the catch there for Indiana, because that was kind of their last hurdle for the season. I thought Indiana would cover, but Penn State, if you do just the talent rankings, like Penn State still probably has more pros than Indiana. So they had the ability to put it together. Of course they do. Of course they do. But hang
Can we
on.
take a timeout?
Hang
Can
on.
we take a timeout here?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'll let you finish your point, and then we'll go back on it. Tripp, go ahead.
Okay.
But I want to remember this.
My
timeout
point is Penn State has the talent to play with a team like Indiana. They put it together. They played a good game. Here's the thing, though. Indiana, the offensive line, they're banged up. They actually got down to a third string. I think it was a guard in that game. And when he comes on for his first play, whoever's calling the game, they're like, yeah, so-and-so's entering the game, 6'6", 220 pounds. And I'm like, oh, well, he misspoke. He meant
Sure he wasn't
320
6'7"?
pounds.
Sure he wasn't 6'7".
He might have been 6'7". I don't know. But when the guy stood up, I'm like, oh, wow. This guy might only be like 220 pounds. Like, he was a very small guy. Good on Indiana for overcoming some adversity. Your offensive line's banged up. It's hard to stop those guys on defense, and they just found a way to win. I think that's good on Indiana.
Roddy?
And then obviously the play at the end was unreal.
Play at the end was great. And I think it's we're gonna forget all the details of how they got to that point and play that play when Fernando Mendoza is in New York for the Heisman ceremony. Not saying he wins it, but he will be there, and that will be the moment. We're like, hey, this was his Heisman moment. I am a little like, I can see both sides of this Penn State thing, Indiana going to Penn State and playing a game where they probably should have lost. Yes, talent-wise, Penn State, whatever. But, like, we don't play games off talent, obviously. And not only that, like, all that talent, what has that talent gotten them? It's gotten them 3 wins. And you say Penn State has the talent to play with Indiana. I mean, sure, but they hadn't played with anybody else since Oregon. Like, that team is out. That team is done. They didn't. I mean, I guess they played with UCLA and they played with Northwestern.
Well, they played pretty decent.
Played with Iowa. I mean, did they? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
but it's a backup quarterback. Like, ultimately, they went to a 3-6 team and struggled to get out with a win. That is the way that I see it. Penn State's not a good team. Sorry, they're not talented. Sure, Clemson's talented. Like, if the same thing happened, if Indiana went to Clemson and had that, well, not Indiana because the narrative would be different. But like, if Miami went to Clemson and got out with like a last second thing, and Clemson's 3-6, are we saying the same thing?
Yeah.
The answer is no. The answer is no. The answer is no.
Clemson still got players, man. They haven't lived up to their expectations anywhere like in the same stratosphere as what we expected.
I don't see that to be factual.
Yeah, it's never easy. It's
I don't think so. Because Clemson doesn't get the benefit of the doubt in the way that that Penn State does. Just look at the way Clemson's been talked about for the last like 5 years. Even when they're in the college football playoff, and I'm guilty of some of this as well. But even when they're in the college football playoff, well, that defense stinks, or that defense this, that defense that. Ultimately, Penn State stinks. They stink. They're paying 3 receivers $1 million, and I think they've got a total of 1,000 yards between them. The quarterbacks obviously, like Drew Aller obviously got hurt, but he was terrible before he got hurt. That offensive line is supposed to be the best in the country. That offensive line hasn't been good this year. And did they put it together for a game? I mean, I guess I'd have to go back and watch the film to tell you for sure. They put it together enough to make Indiana struggle. Indiana won a clunker against a bad football team on the road.
And they
That's
did
the
it
story.
overcoming injuries. I don't think you just overlook
Everybody's got
stuff
injuries.
that.
I don't know. It's not that I'm overlooking
During a
it.
game,
I'm
if
not,
you
it's
have
not that I'm
multiple
overlooking it.
guys
It's
out of
not that I'm
one group go
discounting it.
down in one
But
game,
like
it's
at the
kind
end of the
a big
day,
deal.
it's week 12 in college football. Everybody's got injuries. So I'm
Everybody's
not
got
giving
injuries.
you
Not
credit.
everybody's
I'm
going to
not
lose
giving you
multiple
credit for
linemen in
giving
one game.
injuries. No, but everybody's got injuries, dude. Like NC State 2 weeks ago had their starting running back and starting tight end out. Like 2 NFL guys.
We don't need to
Like, who
revisit
cares?
that game. Yeah, we don't need to revisit that.
Everybody's got injuries.
Yeah, and they knew going into the game they were without him.
3 guys banged up in the. It's like, what's the difference between losing them in game and before the game? Ultimately,
It's a difference. You've got to make an adjustment.
It's not that big a difference. It's not that big a difference because ultimately the guy who comes in,
not that big of a difference, but it's still a difference. They lost guys. That is what you would call adversity. Like
Sure.
that is maybe it's not like the biggest piece of adversity they've ever faced, but it's something in a game, in a tough environment against a team that does still have a lot of talent for as bad as they've been all year. And they overcame it and they found a way to win.
It's a good win by Indy. It's a good win by
Indiana.
Indiana.
It was a good one.
It's a good win by Indiana because they played a clunker and they won on the road. That is difficult. Penn State is a difficult place to play. I'm not discounting either one of those things. The team on the other side is not a good football team because at some point you are who your record says you are. And while they may have talent, that talent has been undisciplined and has underperformed this year. And so at some point, if that talent puts it together against you, sorry, you don't get credit for beating a talented team. You get credit for beating good teams. Because if we were to rank off talent, Penn State would still be a top 5 team. But they are not a good team. They are the bottom of the Big Ten. They have not won a Big Ten game. So ultimately, you won by however many points, whether they win by 2, 3, on the road against a 3-6 team who is 0-6 in your own league. Congratulations.
A little bit of pressure too. A little bit of pressure.
Dude, how many like cliche things can you throw out about this Indiana win against 3-6 Penn State? A little bit of pressure. What are you talking about? A little bit of pressure. What pressure?
What, you can't lose.
Indiana can't lose?
Well, maybe I guess Indiana could afford to lose, especially with the games they've got behind them. But I mean, you couldn't lose if it was Ohio State on the schedule behind them. I mean, fortunately for them, they've got Wisconsin and
if the Green Bay Packers
are
on the schedule next week, sure. If we're going to face them in the college football, sure, you can't lose. Dude, what? No, Indiana, like, is there pressure around Indiana? Maybe. They're the number 2 team in the country.
For now.
And with a loss, they would have dropped to what, 10? It would have been fine. They would have still gotten in the college football playoff, like maybe not even 10. They probably dropped to like
but
7.
If you have a
We're
hiccup
the
there and you
team.
lose, doesn't that put pressure on the next 2 games? Because if you can lose to Penn State, you can lose to Wisconsin. Wisconsin just beat Washington.
So, like, Ohio State has pressure every week because if they lose, then the next game, if they lose that one, then at the next game they lose that one, and they get to 3 losses, then man, they're out of the playoff. Like it was. I don't think
worst win ever for Indiana. Bad. Worst thing I've ever seen.
You are blowing it out of proportion with they faced adversity, and this is a team that talent-wise on the other side is
I'm not blowing anything out of proportion.
And the pressure around this team and yada, yada, yada. Like, you are acting like what they did, Northwestern didn't do, UCLA didn't do, Iowa didn't do. Like, everybody has done this to Penn State, which is beat them.
Everybody didn't lose half their offensive line during the game.
Now it's half the offensive line.
It's a tough thing to overcome. They overcame it, and they did it with one of the best plays you'll see all year.
I will say this:
we don't need to hold on, Steve. We need to keep this win in perspective. It is a win on the road in a tougher environment against a 3-6 team who's 0-6 in the league. I don't care about the adversity that you face because every team does it. I don't care about the pressure because every team does. You know who's got pressure on them? Florida State, because their coach is going to get fired if they lose another game. That's
pressure on Florida State. Their coach is getting fired either way.
That's not true.
It's 100% true.
Why haven't they fired him?
Oh boy,
we're going to get there.
I have something that's even more impressive than Indiana's win at Penn State. Same league though. Best thing I saw from Week 11. It's got to be them fighting Ducks of Oregon. It's got to be. Roddy, it's got to be. In the rain, 40 degrees, pouring rain at Kinnick. No Decorian Moore. No Kenyon Sadiq. Dante Moore, my son. 2-minute drill. Had to have it. Had to have it.
Terrible win.
Was it?
If they'd have lost
So underwhelming.
Decorian Moore and Dante and Kenyon Sadiq during the game, would that have been more difficult to deal with or less difficult to deal with?
I just thought that was gutsy stuff from Dante, man. Like that was
So
that was good stuff. That
What
was
you're saying
impressive.
is- I don't know if it was impressive for Dante, but they got the win. Like
That last
you had
drive
to-
was.
You had to slog it out, and they did that. And I give them that's a good win in a rough environment on the road. I give them credit for that. Absolutely.
Was it the best thing you saw from week 11?
Same thing with Indiana.
Yeah,
Well-
except for I was good, and they didn't have two of their best players
Iowa
for the
State beat
entirety
them.
of the game.
Iowa State ain't good.
100% of the game, they're missing two guys. Not 50% of the game, they're missing some of the offensive line and apparently a 220-pounder, which I'm going to have to fact check that. There's no way
I'm
they played a
telling you, that's
220
what
pounder.
he said when
There's no way
he
they played
came
a
out there.
220-pound guy.
I should have fact
look
checked
at the
it
roster.
because I'm just saying when the guy
football.
walked out on the field,
No, not
whoever
even
was
depth chart.
calling the game said, "Here's so and so."
It was Gus and Joel. Like, what do you mean whoever's calling the game?
It
And when
was
the guy
Gus.
stood straight up. I was like, "Wow, he's not that big."
It was big game Gus, who the final
All right.
call, if you have not heard it, from
Go to
Gus's.
their offensive line.
yeah,
I
well,
bet there's not a
anyway.
single offensive lineman that's listed at 220 on this thing.
Sometimes we
let's
exaggerate
see.
for effect. I mean, that's okay. We're
300,
podcasters.
Flip the tape
290,
of Gus saying it.
309,
You might, Tripp. You might have to because
315.
Roddy's fact checking
Yeah.
rosters here. You might have to.
How
There's
much?
It
no
wouldn't be the
Indiana's
first time
rolling out
Gus
with a
Johnson
200
said something incorrect on
If they're-
TV. By the way,
If they're a college football playoff team, they're not rolling out with a 220-pound backup lineman. I'm sorry.
What's the
That
bet?
should be a disqualifier.
What's the bet here that Gus Johnson didn't say 6'6" or 6'7" and 220?
I don't know what the bet is, but I'm telling you, they are not
I'm
rolling out
telling
with a two. As you
exact
wax poetic about the adversity that this team has faced, playing a 220-pound lineman on the road. This isn't the 1920s. Like, what are we? No one's rolling out with 220-pound linemen. You would put a defensive
Why do
lineman.
you
to be
think I brought it up? Why do you think I brought it up? Why do you think it was mentioned?
I'm done with this conversation.
best thing you saw from week 11, Roddy Jones.
Because like part of the story of Tripp's Indiana overcoming all this adversities, they played a 5'7", 220-pound offensive guard against Penn State on the road
Who's
and were able to
exaggerating?
overcome.
Who's exaggerating?
Oh my God, you are.
Who's
Let me
exaggerating?
tell you, if any
5'7".
team, oh sorry, 6'7", 220. That makes a big difference. If any team rolls out with a 220-pound offensive lineman or is down to a 220-pound offensive lineman, they either have COVID or literally everybody's hurt. Because what a team would do in that situation is not put the 220-pounder out. First off, why is this guy getting recruited? First off, why is he a guard? Like, the scout team guys aren't even that big, aren't even that small. But they would get a defensive lineman. They would say, hey, look, go stand there and be a traffic cone. That's all you have to do.
I looked
The
this
biggest
up.
traffic cone possible.
Paul George is 6'7", 220. In case you're looking for like a body type, that's Paul George. So-
There's not a single offensive lineman listed on this roster that is under 290 pounds because it is a
wasn't calling
Division
the
One
game.
roster.
I wasn't calling the game.
Listen, that's why I don't watch Fox Noon with the volume up,
Dude,
frankly. Because
Now I have to
Fox
Google
12,
this.
15 kickoff. It was a
you may
good
have to
win.
clip it. Tripp, you're going to have to clip it to save face here.
I will
You're going to have to
clip
go back into the
Well, what do
archive.
I get for clipping it? I mean, I'm going to have to go through the whole freaking
You
game.
get a thumbs up and an attaboy. That's what you get. It's about respect. It's about pride.
Let's see. Yeah. You're gonna have to like. I let it go enough times where now we're back to that trip, and you're gonna have to find that because there's no way. Maybe he
What
said
did
it.
you let go? You're not letting anything go.
Roddy,
right.
most
Oh.
impressive thing you saw from week 11. Best thing you saw.
It's gotta be Texas A&M.
Yeah. They're tough.
Counts Missouri on the road.
Where's like you've seen multiple Texas A&M games, 2, 3?
Yeah, too.
Where's the weakness?
The defense has not been great against really good offenses. We give up a lot of yards against Notre Dame and points against Notre Dame and against Arkansas. People would say that the quarterback can be a little streaky. But like when this defense puts it together, they're pretty fearsome, man, and they're going to be tough for anybody. Level of competition is the other argument. Like when you look at A&M and compare them to like the teams around, actually their strength of schedule is higher than Ohio State's and Indiana's, and Ole Miss's and Texas Tech's, so and BYU. So maybe not, but some of that's like, you know, Texas A&M has not played the best of the SEC. And that's the Alabama fans' argument. It's like we had to go through 4 ranked teams in a row,
which is true. I mean, they did have to do that. Although
Yeah.
Missouri is not going to be ranked anymore. But yeah, I understand.
and like LSU, like when A&M played LSU, they were ranked, and they're not going to be ranked anymore because they're in a tough spot now. But yeah, like that would be the thing. Is probably, you know, the quarterback and the defense, but it's a really good team, man. Really good.
Remaining games for A&M. South Carolina. The Bulldogs of Samford. Sam Ford.
Yeah, not Stanford.
Yeah, Sam Ford of the FCS ranks. And then at Texas, close out the year in a game that, once again, will have massive implications both for the SEC championship and the college football playoff. I'm with you, man. A&M continues to just... And you know what the crazy thing is, Roddy? They do it quietly because Mike Elko's just... He's a guy in a hoodie who is not doing the Jimbo thing, which is being obnoxious and making it about him.
Yep.
And it's refreshing because that's what A&M's needed, and they got it. And
when you talk about storylines in the SEC this year, I mean, they're probably like they're below what's happened at Alabama this year. They're below Vanderbilt in terms of storylines because Diego Pavia sucks up all the oxygen in a room. They're below Arch Manning in Texas and whatever's going on there. They're below the circus at LSU. They're below Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss, and they're undefeated. And they are a national championship contender for sure.
Yeah. Well said. All right. Worst thing I saw, or Tripp, do you want to go first here? Oh, sorry. We're saving the worst thing. Something that shocked you from the weekend.
We're going to have an issue here because
I think we've already got an issue.
You can't get the full game without like the in between the plays cut out.
No, you can't. Not with the sound.
I got it recorded on YouTube TV because it's a Fox game. So you give me an idea of the timestamp, and I'll go in and I'll try to cut it for you.
It looks familiar. Indiana's up 20-7, and they're driving, and I think it's a 4th down.
Ooh,
all right. That's pretty specific.
Very specific.
I'll look into that.
It's been like 3rd quarter.
I'll look into it.
The worst time to lose an offensive lineman.
Yeah, no doubt. No, well said.
I would say the worst time is probably in the pregame warmups, but
something that shocked me from week 11. You're like a dog with a bone on this one.
Not having a player for 100% of the game is worse than not having him.
You
for
can
40%
prepare
of the
for
game. But yeah, okay.
The thing that shocked me from week 11, Washington. I mean, they need to do a 30 for 30 on Huskies going on the road to Eastern or Central time zones under Jed Fish the last 2 years because the splits are amazing. It's incredible what this team does on the road, which is to say absolutely nothing.
What is their record? Do you know?
They won at Maryland in a game in which they trailed 20-0 in the 3rd quarter. That happened earlier this season.
Yeah.
They've lost everything else.
Jeez.
They went 0 for the road last year. And this year, I had this pulled up earlier, but it's just been it's an embarrassment. And like I like Jed Fish, but come on, man, 10 points at Wisconsin. They put up 7 points at Michigan earlier this year. It's incredible, and they haven't figured it out. And you know, hey, newsflash, you're going to need to figure this out because you're going to the East Coast. You're going to the Central Time Zone, you know, on average 4 times a year. So you might want to look into, like, I don't know, man, changing it up. Because in that same time span, you've lost 1 game in Seattle over the last 3+ years, and that was to Ohio State this year.
What is the splits of, like, has the competition been significantly?
The competition last year was woeful. I mean, this year your road games, and obviously I'm not counting the Washington State game because that's in Pullman. At Maryland, you won 24-20. Again, it was 20-0. Washington didn't score a point until the third quarter in that one. You put up 7 in a loss at Michigan. You just put up 10 in a loss at Wisconsin, where there were like 8,000 people there.
Yeah.
Like the student section was empty. Like it was like played under protest practically. Last year, you lose at Rutgers, you put up 18 points. You lose at Iowa, you put up 16 points. You lose at Indiana, okay, college football playoff team, you score 17. You put up 6 in a loss at Penn State last year.
Yeah.
Like at some point you may be like, hey,
that was when Penn State was good though.
Let's just try flying in on a Wednesday. Or, I don't know, man, show up the day of the game. You got to try something. Whatever you're doing ain't working. That's something that shocked me.
Yeah. Hey,
Tripp?
Jetfish, he follows a familiar pattern of having your name rumored for a job or maybe even actively talking to that job and then losing. An unexcusable loss.
Yeah.
Summerall did it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he went on the road and beat Memphis.
He did it.
Then he went on the road and beat Memphis. And
Jetfish did it.
Yeah. You're not wrong. Tripp, what shocked you from the weekend besides that offensive lineman for Indiana?
Washington, I was going to say the thing that shocked me was Indiana, again, just being able to overcome everything they did. Washington was the number one thing because that was just stupid. I don't know how they lost to Wisconsin. Really screwed me and my fans over on Twitter this weekend. Another one, though, I would still say I was not shocked that Wake Forest won at Virginia, even though they're a touchdown dog. And I kind of thought Virginia might kind of start to get it back going in the right direction. The one that would be shocking, even though I like Cal and the points, I didn't think Cal was going to win at Louisville.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an 18.5-point favorite at home. And I know they're kind of banged up. I mean, were they without Isaac Brown again in that game?
Yeah, Isaac Brown's out for a while, but Kewan Brown rushed for over 100 yards in the game.
I mean, that was crazy to me.
Yeah. JKS was awesome. JKS threw the ball 47 times, so like 340-something yards. Jacob DeJesus they targeted him 23 times in the game. He had 16 catches, including the game winner and overtime. And he threw the ball. He doesn't get credit for all of these passes. I think he gets credit for 2 passes, but he threw the ball like 5 times, or he dropped back to pass like 5 times. Jacob DeJesus, who is actually like listed 5'7", probably 180 pounds. Like the dude,
he could probably play O-line for Indiana, but
probably
DeJesus. How many steps you think that guy gets in during a football game? Because
a lot.
Cal, we were listening to this on the Blitz. I don't remember if it was the Louisville side or Cal side, but they were like, that guy's in motion on every single play before the snap. They've got him running routes. I mean, he's got to run a marathon each game.
Yeah, he runs a lot. He's got a heavy workload, man. He's not in motion. He's probably in motion half the time. But he is their offense. Like they don't have a workhorse back. Kendrick Raphael's a good back. They don't have a workhorse. He is their workhorse. And he's an extension of their run game. He's their downfield passing game. He's their go-to in one-on-one situations. And JKS, man, is probably the most talented thrower of the football in the ACC. Maybe the country. Like, I mean, the dude can just the way he manipulates the football, gets it up over linebackers, the varying velocities, especially as a freshman. He is very, very talented.
He's going to look good in a Gator uniform next year. He's going to look real good. Maybe.
I think
he's not staying in Berkeley.
Well, maybe Mayava. I think he'd stay West Coast. He's from Hawaii, so.
So was Tua.
That he goes,
so what? I mean,
his whole family moved to Tuscaloosa, and the little brother was there for a hot second too before he went to Maryland.
Come on, big dog. Let's go. I mean,
know that all of the Sangapulateles are going out there.
I mean, why not Atlanta, Roddy? Well, I mean, why not bring him down to the
flats?
Flats?
Quarterback, Aaron Philo. What are you talking
He's
about?
the guy?
Yeah. Dude, they're paying Aaron Philo a lot to stick around in Atlanta. A lot.
Hold a clipboard.
Yep. Insurance policy. Sometimes you got to pay for those. Which one are we on? Shocked me or worst thing?
Shocked.
Okay. I mean, this didn't shock me, but I think BYU being as inept offensively as they were, it was a little surprising. Like I thought they'd get something going. I thought that it would be a game, kind of. After about the first quarter, you were like, "Oh, BYU is not going to be able to move the ball. Like that is not happening today. So this is going to be like this game is over." By halftime, like Herbie and Fowler are like begging people to stay. They're like, "Hey man, like kind of hope we get a score here because if we don't get a score here, people are going to change the channel. Please score so that we can have something to talk about." And or maybe it was a stop that BYU got where they forced the field goal to make it 13 to nothing at halftime and not 17-0. But that was pretty surprising to me, just the ineptitude of BYU offensively. I knew they weren't a great offense, but having seen them a couple times, like I thought they'd be able to manufacture something. But game plan wise, especially early, it was like, hey, we're not going to let Bear mess this up. We'll hope the defense keeps us in it. And the dropped punt by Parker Kingston sort of put not a nail in that because they got a short field, but it really put a damper on it because, once Texas Tech scored after that, it was, BYU wasn't completely playing from behind, but it was an uphill battle. You didn't want to be chasing this game, and they started chasing early, and they couldn't get anything going.
Does Texas Tech make your list of national championship contenders or no? And follow-up question to that is how many teams are on that list as of November 11th? You've already got A&M up there.
Yeah, I think Ohio State and Indiana have to be up there. A&M, Bama, Georgia, Texas Tech, Notre Dame. I'd say that's probably the list.
It's a good
So
list.
Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Bama, Georgia, Texas Tech, Notre Dame. 7. Yeah, I don't think Oregon's there. I don't know about. Did I say Texas Tech in that? I can't remember. I said it twice.
You said you put Tech on there, but not the Ducks.
I'd put Texas Tech in there before I put Oregon. I'm not quite there on Ole Miss. I just think defensively, once you get to that level, it's a little bit that defense is a liability. So yeah, that's the list, I think.
So right around 6.
7
teams, something like that. Yeah,
6,
6, 7.
7.
Yeah.
6, 7. 6, 7. I did that on TV over the weekend during the game. Athletic trivia question answer was 67.
Of course, because of course it was. Yeah, I can't, man. My kid told me something at the dinner table the other day. I thought he was speaking another language. He said I was the goat, the Aura goat, no cap.
You know what that means. You know what that means.
And I've got Mad Riz. And I was like, thank you, son. No
he said Mad Riz. Riz is out now, man. I've been told by the teenagers in my life.
Well, he's not a teenager. He's 9. I mean, he doesn't know anything about anything. But I appreciated that he was trying to get
the Aura goat is kind of obvious that you got Mad Riz, no cap.
Right.
6, 7 means so-so.
It doesn't actually mean anything.
That's what Google says.
Well, the teenagers will tell you it doesn't mean anything.
Meaningless space filler.
Worst thing I saw was Florida, and they have played their way off of being discussed in any real capacity on this show for the rest of the season. I know they're looking for a head coach, Tripp. I know they play Florida State at the end of the year. That game should be put on Cartoon Network at 9 a.m. on Saturday. Nobody needs to see that. Honestly, they should do those.
You can watch it while you're eating your cereal.
They should do what they did in the old days, where they were like, "Hey, instead of sending a broadcast crew, let's just do like Nat Sound." Like when there's like you got this happened in the Wake UVA game. I'm not trying to throw your crew under the bus, but at some point they lost audio from the booth, and so it was just sights and sounds. That's what it said on TV, sights and sounds, and there was no you, there was no Mark. It was just audio of like the game. Do that for Florida State. Don't send a crew. Just hang a microphone. Just dangle a microphone out the booth. We're good. Nobody needs to see that. Florida quit on Saturday at Kentucky. Cutter Boley out here looking like Tom Brady, just dicing people up. Kentucky put up 38 points on you. You have quit, Florida. Thank you for playing. And it's basketball season in Gainesville. That's where we are. Yes, I another basketball reference on the show, Roddy, because I know you love them. It's hoop season.
I'm in on hoops.
Did you see what the line was with Florida Ole Miss and what happened?
It's not big enough.
I think
don't
it
know what the line
opened
is.
it opened at 12.5, and like it was up to 16.5 yesterday.
Keep going. Not
didn't-
enough.
yeah.
Not
No.
enough.
Also, our crew didn't lose sound to the booth. That sights and sounds thing is something that we've been piloting over the last couple of weeks, where we just don't talk for a drive.
Oh.
It's a work in progress, but
Innovative.
I'm trying to get more microphones and stuff.
Very good.
It worked really. So we did it on my crew in the UFL. Worked really well in the UFL because we've got everybody mic'd, and so what we're trying to figure out is how to do that in college football where there's not as many microphones and where the parabs have different constraints and stuff. But we're working on it. We'll get there. But it is cool. Like I think the cool thing about it is it actually gives you a feel for what it's like in the stadium. That was sort of the genesis of it. Like we always talk about bringing people into the stadium. Like you don't hear us in the stadium. You hear the PA announcer. And so like that I think is sort of the next step. Like we crank the PA announcer's mic, like you hear that, or get a mic next to the speaker where you can hear the PA announcer, you can hear the quarterback, you can hear all that stuff. So we're working on it. It'll be cool.
The bands, love the bands. Unless you're one of those
Yeah,
schools that
well,
pipes
there's
in
only
band
one-
music because you don't have a band.
There's only one band at most of these places because usually the visiting team doesn't bring their band unless it's a rivalry game. So, but yes, and some places the bands don't play in between plays. A lot of places they don't. I would say most places they don't. So that's another.
No band for FSU last week either.
No band for FSU at Clemson. They didn't go. Do they normally go?
I don't know. I just heard them mention they didn't go.
Oh, gotcha.
Very, very good.
It's my turn.
Yes.
Oh,
Worst.
okay. Sorry.
Worst.
I asked the question and then you guys didn't say anything.
Oh, I gave you a nonverbal. This is podcasting. I got to vocalize. Yes.
Yeah. For the people at home. I'm torn between the worst things that I saw. One of them was Colorado going to West Virginia and losing. Colorado is spiraling. There's talk that like Prime's got to fire people, like coordinators and stuff. It's like
They played tougher in West Virginia than they did the previous 2 weeks.
dude, West Virginia was
It's trash. I know.
Yes, thank you. Like this previous 2 weeks, they played people with a pulse. West Virginia hasn't had a pulse since like the Pitt game.
Yeah, Colorado is.
What about last week though? West Virginia was a freaking buzzsaw.
Last week against Colorado or the week before that?
No,
They played
Houston.
with-
Last what was
Houston,
it?
they
The
did-
Houston game made
they
no
did beat
sense
Houston.
whatsoever.
Yeah. It's 2 straight wins for West Virginia. It's a good point. Yeah, they so the Scotty Fox kid, like he's kind of been good for him. He was terrible when he came in against Pitt, but very talented true freshman. But I'm gonna go. Worst thing I saw was Duke on the road at UConn. That's the worst thing I saw.
The Duke defense or just all of it? I mean,
Duke.
what?
Just Duke.
Just all of
Just
it.
Duke. Yeah, I mean the offense had 3 turnovers. Defense could not stop Joe Faiano, who's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Skylar Bell, one of the best receivers in the country.
I mean, maybe
They shouldn't
we need
be
to be looking
against
at Jim
Duke.
Mora. Maybe we
Should
need to be making the call.
Hey, look, Jim Moore's done a really good job there. You remember
I
that
know.
program was when he took over?
Oh yeah, he's done a
Yes.
good job.
Team won 9 games last year.
And he's got more wins against the ACC than Mike Norvell in the last however many, whatever the stat is.
Well, better team. So there you go.
Yeah, Duke. There's a lot to like, but out of conference, like as you mentioned, UConn,
1-3 in the non-con. 1-3.
Tulane, Indiana. It's been tough. Yeah, it's been tough.
I've been a big Duke fan all year, but I think I'm out on Duke now.
If you listen to the Friday CSN with Felder, we told you about UConn. We gave you a bit of a
Terrible
heads
spot.
up.
Terrible
Yeah.
spot for Duke.
It was a bad spot, and
Stop
now you're going
going
to
to
come
UConn.
home and you can wreck Virginia's season like permanently.
And look, here's the thing. We don't know the status of Chandler Morris. And as long as Duke doesn't turn the ball over, they will win that game.
Yeah,
If they turn the ball over, they still might win that game.
Yeah,
And
they're
if
gonna
they
turn it over.
turn the ball over a ton, will they?
Oh yeah, they'll turn it over, but they still might win.
I don't know that they'll turn it over because in all of their wins, they're positive in the turnover margin.
Are they? I'm kind of surprised to hear that stat, honestly.
Every
Seems
single
like
win.
every time I watch them, they're turning the ball over.
Because you watch the losses. Because in all their losses, they're neutral or negative in the turnover margin. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the story of Duke's season.
That and, I mean, let's be honest. You mentioned it earlier. Manny Diaz, his phone's probably ringing off the hook. Or his agent's phone's ringing off the hook.
Didn't he go to Florida State?
He's about ready. He's about ready to get out of there.
Dude, how great would that be? Manny would love to go to Florida State and just absolutely stick it to Miami at every opportunity he gets.
Florida State would love to see anybody. I think.
Is it time, Tripp? Is it
go ahead
time?
and play it. Tripp's
Go
got
ahead.
something that's on his
Yeah,
chest. I've riled Tripp up. I've made Tripp mad, and now he was already mad at Norvell.
You made it matter.
I mean, I'm
The
down.
team of the 90s has fallen into disarray.
90s was a long time ago, man.
14 straight
It doesn't feel
top
that way.
5 finishes, 3 national championships.
Imagine if he didn't have a
A
CFP.
once
he'd probably win more
proud
than that.
program is now slipping
Or just
away like sand through the hourglass of time.
Janikowski.
Welcome to As
Well,
the
that-
World
that's why we
Turns
ended up with
in
Janikowski.
Tallahassee, Florida.
And the other kicker, too. Who was the kicker in 93? Bentley? He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Was it
A
really?
kicker. Finally got a kicker. Won a national championship.
There you go.
Roddy, dead serious. What are we going to do? We did this right after the Stanford loss.
Yeah.
Like, the fan base is done. It's
Yeah.
time to move on. They don't do it. And you said, pump the brakes, reinvest in the roster. We can't reinvest in another roster.
Why not?
And keep the same coaching staff, because this is, again, a top 20. They've already invested in the roster. This is not like some empty roster. It's a top 20 paid roster in football. You can't do what they're doing. Like, you can't just keep running it back. And I'm not calling for Mike Norvell to be fired. I would never do that to a personal friend. I would never call for it. I've called for one person to be fired in my entire life, and that was last year with the Bears. That guy deserved to get fired. I'm never going to call for anybody. That's not my place to call for someone to get fired. But that's a real stat, the whole UConn thing. Like, UConn has more wins against the ACC than Mike Norvell in the last however long. Like, can't just keep hitting reset and hoping something happens differently.
Yes. I understand the frustration. I get it. I think if you can get James Franklin, it's probably worth doing. Apart from James Franklin, you're taking a flyer, just as much of a flyer as keeping Norvell is. And so my question then becomes, if you cannot get James Franklin, would you like to take a flyer with more money for the roster or less money for the roster? And I would take it with more money for the roster.
Okay. But here's the thing. If you don't fire Norvell now, and you know you're going to fire Norvell, you need Norvell to help with the money thing to go find another job. Because right now, if you fire Norvell, you're on the hook for it's just under $10 million a year for however many years, 6 years or 5 or 6 years. It's like $60 million.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 years, $10 million a year. If you're going to do it, you got to do it now. So Norvell can go grab, like, Summerall from Tulane's going to get hired somewhere.
Yeah, and it's not
That
forced.
would probably be a potential landing spot for Norvell. Who knows? Maybe Memphis
Tulane.
opens back up too,
Oh,
because their coach is getting mentioned, right? Silver.
So you're concerned about Mike Norvell finding a job?
To get a job, because if he gets a job making $5 million a year, then all of a sudden your $10 million a year turns into $5 million a year for Florida State.
So Florida State's subject to offsets.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're not firing a guy saying that he needs time to get a job, because if he's going to get hired somewhere, he's going to get hired somewhere, whether they fire him tomorrow or fire him in 2 weeks. What'd you say?
He'll get hired. I don't think he's
I don't know.
terrible
I don't
football
know that he'll
coach.
get hired.
I think he's probably, a league ahead of where he should be.
He did win a championship in the league. He did win 10 games in the league. He also has had more 4-game loss streaks than than they've had since like the 1970s or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, Tripp, I understand the fan base, and like here's the thing that I can't discount when I say they should keep him, at least for now, or at least hope that he succeeds, is the fan base sentiment. Because if the fan base is out and it's costing you real money because people aren't showing up or donating, then it becomes a math issue. How much money is this guy costing me versus how much would it take to get rid of him? What I think Florida State is hoping is that he wins out and you go 7-5 and you run it back one more time.
I don't think they're going to accept it. I'm just saying what I've heard. I'm not even giving my own opinions here. Everything I'm saying is just things I've heard. But I don't know. I lost my.
I mean, it's very possible that Florida State's already made the decision. I just don't know why you wouldn't signal to the fan base that we're doing this and go ahead and do it if you didn't know that you were going to do it, unless you're gathering the money. Like there might be doubt that you have the money to do it.
There was, I mean, from what I hear, the feeling is they are going to have the money and they'll be able to.
Yeah, I
take
think
care of
so.
the money part.
I think the money would be taken care of too, which means it's choice.
One thing I was going to mention, even after the Wake game, where whatever, it's Wake Forest. They played good on offense and the defense looked good again. Even after a good performance, the week that came after, leading up to the Clemson game, they lost like 3 of their top recruits that decommitted. And one of those recruits was, I think, was it Lawrence Timmons, the linebacker back in the day? He played for the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
His son was a FSU commit, like a big-time commit, 5-star guy, decommitted. It's a legacy.
Yeah.
Things are just not going this guy's way.
That's the understatement of the day for sure. Tripp, I got to be honest, dude. I feel
there's
like
been
we
one
may
thing
have.
that's been consistent, though. If there's been one thing that's been consistent throughout Mike Norvell's tenure, it's 5 stars decommitting.
Yeah, that can't happen. That can't happen.
That is.
I gotta be honest, Roddy. I'll put this up to a vote, man. I feel like we've reached the point. I feel like we're past the point, but I feel like we've reached the point where the FSU moratorium needs to be put in place. Like I think we're there.
I support Tripp in this.
You
If
think,
he
you
wants
think
to
it can
vent
get
about
worse?
Florida State, it's one of the biggest brands in the country, and
Okay.
Tripp is emotionally involved. If he wants to talk Florida State strategy,
involved. I've sent those guys money.
Wow. Emotionally and financially involved. Although
Okay.
probably less so now that the lock has been picked, according to Steven.
No, it's temporarily picked. It can be reattached. It can be relatched. But yes, at the moment, it's hanging.
my
It's
picks.
unhinged.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, look, Florida State has had that job open 4 times in the last 50 years or something like that. They made a home run in Bobby Bowden, obviously. Jimbo Fisher was a success, and the other 2 that they've had have been meh.
Yeah.
Well, Willie Taggart's was not
That was
good, and then
bad.
Mike Norvell. I think on the whole, the tenures of like Mike Norvell and no, I'm not going to do that. But Mike Norvell is,
Stopped
think
himself. The discipline.
mixed emotion or mixed results. And I think what we're seeing is that it's much more lackluster than good. And the thing that's disappointing to me and would be disappointing to me if I was a Florida State, would be infuriating to me if I was a Florida State fan, is Mike Norvell has not built this the way that Florida State should be built.
Boom.
Florida State should be a transfer portal destination, but should not rely on the transfer portal for its success. And they have done that. And that has been a criticism of theirs for a long time. And they are starting to have some guys show some promise that they recruited and brought in and developed. But that roster should be one that is mostly, especially on the offensive and defensive lines, mostly homegrown guys. And it's not. So, as a matter of fact, they're going to have to redo that whole offensive line this coming offseason.
They are.
They redid that whole offensive line this offseason.
They got that guy at Indiana who's sitting out there 6'7", 220, and put him on some weight gainers, Roddy. I mean, that's a tremendous frame.
It's a good callback by you. It's a great
Honestly,
callback by you.
we're talking about the offensive line. There's a third stringer at Indiana who's out there. He's available.
Luke Laux has already gotten him signed.
What's going to happen when you hear that clear as day.
I'm going to say Gus Johnson made an error. One of 1 million that he's done on the broadcast.
I will make Steven fire up the StreamYard again, and we will issue, both of us, public apologies to put on the back end of the podcast. Okay. Or maybe we'll issue a whole new pod, an apology pod.
Go
30
back
seconds
and
of us
listen to the conversation. I didn't say the guy was 6'7", 220. Gus Johnson said it. And when the guy stood up, I was like, all right, well, the guy is kind of thin. I didn't say he was actually 220.
6'7", 220.
6'7".
It throws it, and it's a touchdown!
That's not a bad Gus. It's not a bad Gus. All right. It's the point of the my kids are gonna break down the door here at any moment. So let's do some Rodster on our way out the door. 5-4. 5-4 last week. Nice. Nice winning weekend. You're still below 500 for the season, but we're trending in the right direction. So week 12, Roddy, we got football games starting Tuesday night. Are you interested?
Tuesday, dude, I don't know. I'm not doing a Tuesday night. Is James Madison playing again?
I'm not doing that with you today.
What do you mean? Just asking.
No, they play on Saturday.
Looks like the Sunbelt's playing on a Thursday.
Not us. Big game for JMU. They have a chance to beat App State for the first time since joining the league.
Oh, that is a big game.
It's a big game. So, Rodster, week 12. Yes, they very much stink. Can confirm.
All right, let's go to Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Start on Friday. Give me Clemson plus the points.
Oh, boy.
No way.
Clemson plus 3.5 at Louisville.
Louisville. You think Louisville wins?
That's the connect. I can't talk. No, I don't care. Louisville's a fraud.
No, Tripp is nodding his head.
I like Louisville.
Why?
I don't know. My instinct says Louisville.
The gut.
That's fair. Can't doubt the gut. If Clemson can block Louisville's front, I think coming off of a performance against Cal where Louisville gave up like 350 yards passing, this is a receiver group that's better than Cal. It's a quarterback that is not as good as Cal's quarterback, but is playing better. And so if they can get the ball out, like Louisville, I mean, Cal did not rush for a lot of yards against Louisville. And I do think Clemson's defense is going to give Louisville some issues. I do think that. Although, like, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I don't know how to reconcile. Jeff Brom is good in big games. Jeff Brom struggles against teams that when it's not a big game. Is this a big game? Because this may determine how I feel about Jeff Brom's chances in this game.
I think it's a big game. Why? Big game for Louisville. I mean, holding on to any hope at all here.
If this was, Boston College and not Clemson, would it still be a big game?
No.
If it was Georgia Tech, would it be a big game?
Clemson's still got a bunch of dudes, like Penn State.
Louisville's a fraud, bro. And
Clemson's the Penn State of the ACC.
Oh boy.
Maybe Penn State's the Clemson of the Big Ten. Actually, Clemson's won 3 conference games, which is 3 more conference games than Penn State's won. In a conference that's very similar. Joey Galloway said that, not me. That the Big Ten is closer to the ACC than the SEC. It's Joey Galloway's words, not mine.
Maybe it's a good thing I'm not watching the CFP reaction show live then, because I don't need Joey Galloway's insight on anything.
Why?
Keep it rolling,
Joey Galloway's
please.
An expert. I'll go Pitt plus the points.
I like that. They're a live dog this week. 11.5. Woo!
Woo!
Chunky.
Mason Heinschel might turn the ball over 4 times, but I think Pitt could. I think if he doesn't do that, Pitt will keep it close.
Okay.
Close-ish. It'd be interesting to see how that running back group does against this Pitt defense, because Pitt's a unique defense where they kind of sell out to stop the run. So Jeremiah Love could hit some really big runs. But also they could get Jeremiah Love involved in the pass game as well, and he could break this thing open. I'm starting to convince myself the other way. Oof. Give me Cincinnati minus 6.5, hosting Arizona.
Okay. Cincinnati, I expect to be ranked tonight. don't you?
Yes. Yeah, I said that at the beginning of the show. Were you listening? When
I
said that
was, but I
Cincinnati
just,
would be in there?
some people listen at like 2x speed.
I
They might have
think
missed
heard-
that.
I wasn't even here. And
Oh yeah, Tripp wasn't here. That's a good recap.
Thank you.
Give me Arkansas plus the points at LSU.
Oh, we're doing the thing, huh? All right,
Yeah.
sure.
What's the
Why
thing?
not?
What thing are we doing?
The Tailing Green thing. I love it. I mean, I'm here for it. Arkansas 2-7, 0-5 in the league.
Do you know how many times in the history of Louisville football they've beaten Clemson?
It's a good question. I don't. 0?
Once.
Wow.
Once last year. First time ever.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was last
Lamar
year.
didn't even do it.
Revenge game for Clemson. I remember that Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson game. Epic game.
Great game. Great game. If Jamari Thrash doesn't go out of bounds on that fourth down,
You're
and
not
cuts
wrong.
up the field,
You're not wrong.
they may have a chance to win it, but what do I know? I'll go Oklahoma plus the points at Alabama.
What's that line?
6.5.
Interesting.
Talk
I
about
think
fraud.
Oklahoma's a fraud
Oklahoma's
too. I think Oklahoma's a fraud as well.
I think
but we're about to
Oklahoma's a
find
fraud
out.
too.
Yeah.
But I think Alabama. I think they can keep it close against Alabama.
Okay.
Alabama's defense not
good.
Great.
No, statistically, it's actually really bad in terms of
Okay.
like defensive EPA and all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, whoa. What you know
I
about
don't
defensive
dabble.
EPA?
I don't dabble in those stats, but I
What
do
you
listen
know
to.
about defensive EPA.
I listen to my people. I got a couple shows I listen to, and statistically, the metrics are not favorable for Alabama.
Who are your
You gonna
people
shout
that
them
are
out?
throwing out defensive EPA?
My people? I'm a split
Shout
zone
'em
duo
out.
guy. Shout out Alex Kirshner, Rich Johnson. Those are my
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
They also sponsor the
Yeah.
Blitz, so they're friends of the program.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The
Those guys
Blitz?
are nerds. Nerds.
I think they embrace that. Honestly,
No, it's
They
awesome.
Do it very well.
I love stuff like EPA. I will say defensive efficiency wise, they're 10th in the country, so they're a little bit better in that. I actually don't know what their defensive EPA is, but the EPA for people who are listening and the uninitiated is expected points added. So basically, every time your defense is on the field, how many points does it expect your defense to add to your overall total? So your offensive EPA should be good, and your defensive EPA should be low.
I thought it was Environmental Protection Agency. I
Well, that too.
learned something new today.
Yeah, that too.
I had no idea, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you for educating me.
Let's see, defensive EPA for Alabama.
While you look that up, Roddy, I'm going to
48th.
drop.
Wow.
I'm going to drop some news on you. Tripp and I have a meeting that starts
low.
in 3 minutes.
Oh,
So you got to hustle through some picks.
you didn't
What
tell me
meeting?
that.
I didn't tell you what meeting, Tripp. It's literally like an all-staff meeting that's been on your calendar for a little while.
Wow.
Keep it
Yeah.
rolling.
All right, give me Duke
Duke
minus the points. We're going to fly through this thing. Give me Duke minus the points.
Duke minus 6.5 against the Who's.
Yep, I'll go Iowa plus the points on the road at USC.
Iowa plus 6.5 at USC. Yes.
Give me App State plus the points.
I hate you. I really do. But I think that's the right call. Plus 20.5. It's
It's
chunky.
a big number.
Yeah,
it's a big number. A little chunky monkey of a number.
Plus, it's a
give me-
look-ahead spot because you got the Marvel helmet game coming up against Washington State after
I'll
this.
go North Carolina plus the points.
Oh, come on. We were just talking about how good Wake is. Why are you doing that?
I don't think they can score offensively. I think it's a low-scoring game. The under is probably the play in that one. It's 39.5 is the over-under in that one.
Oh,
Right
I don't even see that on the board. Oh, that's because Wake's one of my favorite teams. They're at the top. Okay, North Carolina plus 6.5. Very good.
Yep.
Sellout crowd.
Sellout crowd, yes. Yes.
Maybe the
it'll be
toughest road environment North Carolina's played in all year, honestly. I'll go back and check, but it might be
Dude, that thing's
accurate.
going to be friendly to North Carolina with what we talked about earlier. And the knuckle draggers, remember?
Yeah, you can
Give
use
me,
that. You can use
give
that
me-
line. I'll let
Give me
you
Ole
steal
Miss.
it.
I'm not going to use that line. Give me Ole Miss minus the points at home against Florida.
Love that pick. Love it. Might make my picks on Friday, honestly.
Give me Texas plus the points.
Texas plus 6.5.
Yep.
Hey, you're missing a game though, don't you?
Am I?
Don't we
What
need
did I
to?
miss?
Don't we need to go to Chestnut Hill? Don't we need to get back on track?
Oh, sorry. They're my favorites. They're at the top. 16 and a half? Yeah, I'll take Georgia Tech plus. minus
No,
16.
the other way. No, that's not what I meant.
What do you mean?
Go the other way.
All right, I'll take Boston College plus the points.
Thank you. We're back. We're so back. BC plus 16 and a half. Lock it in, folks. That is your week
Give me Virginia
12.
Tech plus the points, too.
Oh. Why, Roddy?
I don't know.
Who's
Aren't
Virginia
they
Tech playing?
FSU?
Florida State.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah, I was like, I think that is.
Way to twist the screws. 7:30 ACC Network. Woof.
Prime
God
time.
almighty.
I
VT
like
plus
ACC network. I don't really see what the
Give
problem.
me
is.
BYU minus 4.5. They're hosting TCU.
Florida State's a 2-touchdown favorite.
2 touchdowns, dude. 2 touchdowns.
BYU
What are
minus
we doing?
BYU minus 4.5.
It's too
ACC
much.
Network has tremendous commercials. If you need a new nonstick cooking set or some knives or anything for your house, maybe some Flex Seal, ACC Network is your place. They still do the as seen on TV thing. Roddy Jones is yawning in the background. That means it's time to wrap up the show. Thank you for listening. Follow Tripp on Twitter at
a little
Locks
yawn.
of the Doc. Roddy is on Twitter. He doesn't tweet very much, but you can interact with him there at Roddy Jones 20. And again, folks, week 3 of the carriage dispute. Varsity Network. It'll make your life a lot easier. And it's free. We'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for listening.